Good morning and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I'm going to be taking my first look at Dark Albion Cults of Chaos by the RPG Pundit. So I've had Lion and Dragon for probably close to 2 years now, and I have Dark Albion, the setting, the War of the Rose, the Rose War setting. Sorry, the Rose War setting, and for whatever reason I didn't pick this up back then, and recently RPG Pundit did a live stream which I attended, and really interesting live stream that he was doing, and uh, in that moment, I decided, well, let me take a look at what's going on over on Drive Through RPG as far as what my account was, and I was like, hey, you know what? I can buy this right now, thanks to the affiliate program. So when all of you come onto my channel and you're looking at you're looking at my video, and then you decide to go to drive through the affiliate link, I get a little bit of a kickback. And what I do with that kickback is I buy more material for the channel. So thank you, because you are, my loyal subscribers, and those that go the next step and take a look at what I'm showing on the channel over on drive through. You're actually making it possible for me to purchase more materials for the channel. So as always, thank you for that. So let me just switch views here and just go over this. Now, none of these you actually need in conjunction with the other in order for you to put it to good use. So here is Lion and Dragon, and this is the core game system. So it's a medieval authentic OSR role-playing by the RPG Pundit. And as a historian, because I have a master's degree in U.S. history, and I taught for 26 and a half years. And being a historian myself, he really does nail the authentic part very well, and that goes through all of the various products that I have here that I've purchased from him over the last 2 years or so. And so I was really excited to see what Cults of Chaos did, and I was really quite surprised. So Lion and Dragon, and then here is the War Rose. So this is the kind of setting and time period that the rest are to be worked in. But like I said, you don't have to. You can use this with another game system. You could use this with another game system, and the same will be for Cults of Chaos. So here is Cults of Chaos, and like I said, this came so fast. I mean, he just did his live stream maybe on Sunday, and so this arrived. I ordered it on Sunday, and it arrived yesterday. So that's a really fast turnaround. So that's good job on drive through as far as receiving an order and getting it out within 6 days, which is amazing. So I will be going doing a flip through of Dark Albion Cults of Chaos. I also picked up a while ago, and I was really excited to get this here, is Sword and Caravan. So this is another thing. Again, all of these can be used independently of one another if you so choose. And that was the first thing that I really came across this here. I actually had a wow moment as I flipped through the first few pages of this last night. And I literally was like, I can take this and use this in my AD&D campaign. I can use this in my upcoming Castles and Crusades campaign, or I can use this along with the other Dark Albion and Lion and Dragon, and create several like a mini campaign utilizing those as well. I mean, I literally wish I had the time to run 3 full-blown campaigns at one time. I just don't. So I have to be a little bit more selective with my time. So without further ado, let's go and start taking a look at the PDF that I got along with this. And here we go. So as you can see, a very, very traditional art style to it. Really like it. And it kind of goes with that medieval, authentic feel for it. And he also displays his others. I don't have Dark Albion adventures. I like writing my own adventures for the most part. But let's go. So when was this done? Because so this was 2016. So yeah, I really sat on the fence for this. Although I know I got Lion and Dragon probably only about 2 years ago or so. I'd have to go and look through my video catalog to see when I actually purchased this. So I'm going to go through this, and just as I was last night, I certain things jumped out at me right away, and so that's how I'm going to demonstrate this to you as I go through it now and flipping through. And I'm just going to point to the few things that really jumped out at me. Later on, I will do a greater breakdown of this, so a more in-depth look at it and look at various features. So this will be something that I return to. I'm not going to just give you this one, first look and then not go back to it again. Especially when I do start using this, because I will use this in either my AD&D or my Castles and Crusades campaign. It's that flexible. So Dark Albion, I just read the introduction here and I'll expand it so you can read along too, is a supplement to an OSR setting book, Dark Albion. Like the former, it is designed in a system-neutral fashion, easily applicable to any OSR rule set you may wish to use it, and that is absolutely correct. There are two main sections in the supplement. The first presents rules on generating a chaos worshipping cult, usable to create a wide variety of possible secret sects and conspiracies in the service of chaos through multiple groups and social classes. The emphasis on these sects is on having a degree of medieval authenticity, presenting the cults with fantasy elements, but with direct inspiration from real world medieval ideas on witchcraft, heresies, priestly corruption, aristocratic aristocratic hedonism, etc. Many derive directly from either real history or medieval folk beliefs. The second section presents the rules on chaos mutations, transformations to characters' minds, body, and spirit. So I will certainly break this down into at least two different parts, right? And potentially more than that. So I'm going to focus on the generation system now. Okay, so here we go. Ooh, was that hyperlinked? Let's see if that was hyperlinked. It was indeed. All right, so it is hyperlinked as well. So you can just click on something in the thing and jump right to it. And I literally just discovered that now. All right, so generating a cult, determine the social class of the cult, roll a d20. It'll tell you, is it a peasant cult? Is it a mixed a variety of social classes and such, and everything in between, right? Whether it be a villain, a burgher, a priestly, or a noble cult. Determine the size of the cult, and so you can generate this if you wish, or you can just choose something and build along the way as your as the GM. Determine if the cult is exposed. Determine if the cult's form, the form of it. And so here you can do peasant cults. They give you a breakdown of what peasant cults would look like. A fake cult. A fake cult, it has no actual magic or chaos connection. Roll or select from one of the other six options as to what the cult claims to be, but the leadership are in fact either frauds or insanely deluded. All right. Maybe the cult of Gygax could be in here.
Yeah.
Uh, Witchcraft, and we will go on through old religion, the blood god, the hawk. So the blood god is the chief god of the Northmen, demands blood sacrifice in battle. The hawk is chief amongst the Scots. The green man is an English god of the woods. The Hecate, an Arcadian witch goddess whose sect has lingered since the Arcadian times. Mananan, a Cymric sea god. The wolf god, the god of wolves, worshipped by Old English and Northmen alike. We go into heresies. We have an elf cult. This cult venerates the elves, usually base themselves around a stone circle. There is a 50% chance they are being run by an opportunistic Simri, which a type pulling a type of con game, but playing with some elven magic that is potentially very dangerous. An object cult, a cult began when the peasants found a powerful chaos artifact in some hole, cave, mine, or small cairn. This magical item can grant them the power to kill, heal, control minds, cause mutations, summon monsters, or make some other wondrous effects. So basically, not false idolatry, but an idol that actually might have some power to it. A frog cult. In these dark times, most English men live in fear that the instability of the kingdom may lead to an opportunistic frogman invasion. All right, that's very strange. I've never heard of that too. So, looking forward to reading through it. Villain cults, as always, they can always be fake or they can have true magic attached to it or conspiracies attached to them. So I like that. There's a differentiation between the different levels of actuality for even the cult members themselves, right? Um, Maybe the adherents don't realize that they're in a fake cult, but certainly the leadership does. And so that's an interesting thing to put in there. There's a fairly good chance of it being a fake cult, right? A one through six on a D20. That's a 30. If I'm doing my math right in my head, that's a 30% chance of it being a fake cult. So that's pretty cool. The most common would be anywheres between like a heresy or a death cult would be kind of that mid-range likelihood. And let's see. So burger cults, let's see, they're either heresies or rogue magisters. Let's see what a rogue magister is. As in the villain's entry above, but instead a petty criminal, these magisters of more means will be trying to recruit, control, or defraud the upper classes, promising them power or threatening them or stealing or from or defrauding them. Okay, hedonists are a sect of demon, probably 90% chance masquerading as one of the heathen gods of an ancient Arcadian, Bacchus, Venus, Eros, and so on. So I like these tables that, and they have very clear explanations for them, and you're slowly building up this cult that is going to be the focus of the player party's actions for at least a brief time. So probably multiple sessions are going to be dismantling these cults, or perhaps even setting one up. Noble cults are now fake amongst nobles, you could see as a 1 through 8. So that's a 40% chance of it being fake. And the majority of the time, it's going to be either immorality cult or a political cult. Although less, less of an instance, but because it's occupying that on the average of a D20 roll, they will tend to fall in these mid rangers. Okay. So now we get to, let's see, determining the cult's secret lair. And this is optional, but you can roll this now. So peasant cults are going to have various potential locations. So I like that each cult type has a different location possibility for them. So that's really cool as well. Then we go into determining the cult's special resources. And so we have peasant cults. They on a 1 to 4 veteran, one or more members is experienced soldier. Protection, the sect leader is favored by the local lord. Magic item, the cult is in possession of non-chaos magical item. Let's see what else we have. Business, the cult is involved with local businesses. Dogs, one of the cult members is in charge of the local squire's hunting dogs who are trained to guard or attack. Simri, the cult is connected to the group of Simri travelers, some of whom will be magic users, bandits and rebels, priests, woodsmen, monster. The cult has a control or trained monster under its control. I really just love the variety of uh, of possibilities here. I will go past the resources here. Uh, Chaos Cult complications. So the GM may wish to roll for an added complication, a twist to the situation that involves the Chaos Cult. Alternatively, he may also choose an option without rolling. All right. So the cult is seeking to participate. Up. Sorry. The cult is seeking a particular item it needs for a ritual. So these are things that the cults are actually attempting to do, or have a complication before they can fully effectuate what they're looking to do as their agenda. Let's take a look, quick look at, and there's 100 of these, so that's pretty impressive list. And you could probably roll multiple, especially if you're looking to do this over a long period of time. Chaos Cult's life. Once you have determined the cult's type of followers and organization, you may also want to determine the cult's practices. So, recognition method, cults know each other very well. Even if wearing a mask, they would discern a voice that doesn't belong to the member of the cult. All right. So, and this is a D12 possibility. So, let's see what 12 is. A magical effect permeates all the cult's locations. Genuine members of the cult are not affected by it. All others, whether they successfully impersonate real cultists or not, know passwords or not, suffer a detrimental effect such as feeling bad and getting a -2 penalty on all attack rolls. All right, so again, just like so many different layers of really interesting stuff being put in this. Examples of cultist taboos and obligations. And so, once again, another D12 table. Let's take a look at 4. Cultists must kill someone to prove their loyalty to the cult. And for some cults, this must be one of their family members. If they fail to do this within 1 month, the cult will target them as their next sacrificial victim during their awful rituals. All right, so pretty cool. Examples of cult rituals. And so let's take a look at number 4. Again, once or twice per month during the night with a particularly harsh weather, typically a storm. If no such night happens during the month, it will be assumed to be due to some cultist misconduct. even if none of them actually misbehaved. This is a perfect opportunity for the cult's leaders to chastise some cultists whom he dislikes personally. So, various ceremonies, cultist garb, typical ceremonies, reasons for joining a cult: appealed by the forbidden, blackmail, coercion, conformists, converted fanatic, criminal minded, deception, delusion, family tradition, fashion victim. See, this cult is joined because it seemed to be cool thing to do. All right, so yeah, that's kind of when I hear fashion, I think clothing, but it's the new shiny. All right, fear, great promise, greed, or hateful. What we're going to do with D100 here. Then we get into mutations. I didn't get this far when I was going through my initial flip through last night. So now this is my first look at it. So mutations. Mutation can occur due to intense exposure to chaos. It does not happen just due to the casual use of spells or magical items. If it did, all magic would undoubtedly be outlawed in Albion. Unfortunately, it only happens due to conditions of direct contact with particularly powerful reality warping forces of dark magic. And mutation in clerics, mutation into church, reversing mutations. I will go into more detail later on. So D100 mutations, the gravity of the mutation. So a 1 to 3 is minor. On average, it's going to be moderate, and severe is let's see. Let's see. So here are all of the different minor mutations: a witch mark, stench. You have the mutation of imparting upon you a stench. Wasting's pretty severe. Moderate mutations: haunting intelligence, canines, color change, crazy nails, gigantism, gibberish, hermaphrodites, hideous regeneration, the evil eye, stone hand, shrunken, satyr legs. Yeah, that's a pretty. I would say that's more than moderate mutation. If you end up with satyr legs, I mean it's pretty noticeable. Let's take a look at severe. Familiar: cat eyes, extra arms. All right, so I don't know why cat eyes is severe, but maybe it just gives you the additional power of cat eyes. Let's see. Let's see what it says for cat eyes. I didn't see the breakdown of it. Must be up. Familiar. That's the first one. Oh wow, familiar is long. There's cat eyes. The character's eyes change to look like a cat's. They gain night vision. All right, so that's what I assumed. Running Chaos Cult's adventures. So designing an investigation adventures. So yeah, I really want to go into greater detail with this here, because this is the element that's really going to spark my interest, because it's very difficult to create investigation adventures. They're one of the most challenging. It's almost like adventures of mystery as well. So investigation mystery adventures are some of the most challenging to actually create, and I'm hoping that this will make it a lot easier to go through, and to set that kind of thing up. Um, and you'll look through all of the framework that was put into creating the cult, and then if you're investigating that cult, you'll be able to see, well, what things are more readily perceivable or noticeable, and then work from there for an investigation. So, like I said, this is a first look, but I definitely want to spend time on this section all by itself. And let's see, clues and revelations. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for when I go into this in greater detail. More chaos clues, player characters searching for clues. Yeah, so I am going to do a whole separate video on just this. Questioning NPCs and their reaction roles. Oh, these are figures, NPC stack blocks, and we get to some adventures and such. Um, Chaos cults and dungeons. So dungeon creation, and he gives you some examples. Good look at stuff. And high level dungeons, yeah. So this is a whole separate section. Uh, the elves in Dark Albion. All right, so that's a whole separate section. Now, of course, if I'm using this in a different situation, in a different game system, then some of this might not apply. Blood god, so go into the different types of deities and sources of cult worship, and frog cults. I didn't mention it before, but I like the artwork as well, the art style. And a lot of it is probably from public domain, and then some of it is original. Let's see. I'm just going to flash through, and we get to the appendix, and oh, we have some character sheets. So this is like a cult sheet, so you can list all the details. Then you have a player character sheet. This one's for Dark Albion. And then this one here, well, that's the second page of it. And then the credits. So interior art, some art used under license with permission by Jack Badashki, Heather Sin, and J.M. Woick of the Stinky Goblin. Stock art, Ford Studios, and so on. All right, and then there's the copyright notice. So there you have it. I mean, it's no, I'm being perfectly honest with it. When I first flipped through this thing, there were certainly instances where I was like, "Wow, I really looking forward to using this." And either of my two campaigns, the one that we're currently in, although they've been trudging along for 86 weeks dealing with a very cult like dark druid sect. So I don't need to introduce a new cult theme to their campaign at this point. but certainly might be an early minor player in my Castles and Crusades campaign, and then they'll go off and do some other things, and then maybe revisit, um, you know, higher levels of that either same cult or some different ones. So I'm looking to see how to seed that that setting and that campaign with various opportunities of things to look at. And certainly one of them is going to be some kind of a cultist activity that the players are going to have their characters have to engage with and look to bring an end to. So really cool stuff. I mean, if you haven't looked at the RPG pundits, materials before, it's as you can see, and I don't even have I don't even have out here. I should grab it. Is the Invisible College is another book of his that I picked up, as well as. So this is another one really unique, and I do have a video on this as well. And then Star Adventure. Um, this one, I will say it's a great system. It works very very easily. It's a little bit thin. It needs. I hope that he comes out with some supplements for that as well, so that I don't come off as a total shill here for RPG pundit stuff. I really do enjoy it though. It's really great stuff. It makes you think about how can I use this in my current game, and for supplement books or for other systems that when I pick up other systems that whether I run them or not, I'm always looking at them to pull ideas from, and whether it be game mechanics or just themes, and they literally just spark my imagination on what to do in my current campaigns or my future campaigns. And so, yeah, definitely worth taking a look at his work. It's really well written, and like I said, I mean, it literally gave me a wow moment when I first came across those sections, and I was like, my gosh, I am using this. So I hope you like this video. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If any questions or comments, just leave those in the comments section. If you hadn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon. I am just about 4 days away from going to my first larger con, in on the 20th through the 23rd. Really, it starts the 21st in Massachusetts. That is Rising Phoenix Con. I am running 2 games there. I am going to be running Gangbusters, and I'm going to be running Blade Runner. So Blade Runner is the starter box adventure, certainly truncated for the use at a convention, and Gangbusters is my own adventure that I wrote. Whiskey Creek Runs Red, and the Runs Red is kind of a double entendre, so it's a kind of play on words, and you'll see what it means if you think about the 1920s and you think about how red was used in the 1920s. You'll kind of get the idea. But really looking forward to running those as well. And maybe someday I'll get around to actually running Lion and Dragon at a convention. That would be really cool. Maybe I'll save that for doing something at GaryCon, which I'm looking forward to going to in 2024. That will be my big event of 2024 to celebrate the 50th anniversary year of Dungeons and Dragons. And what better place than to go to GaryCon to do that? And so, as always, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. Have a good afternoon.